They told us the Garden of Eden was in the Middle East, but what if everything we thought we knew was wrong? What if the real Eden, the birthplace of humanity, the paradise described in ancient texts, was not in Iraq, Israel, or Iran, but in a place far more mysterious, far more untouched, a place with landscapes that look like they were carved by the hands of heaven itself? The Philippines. This idea sounds shocking, even impossible, but when you start connecting the clues from ancient writings, geology, biology, and history, the truth becomes harder to ignore. Imagine a land filled with crystal-clear rivers, untouched, rainforests, rare animals and plants found nowhere else on Earth. Imagine a place with perfect weather, abundant food, rich minerals and waters that sparkle like silver. That is how ancient texts describe Eden, and that is exactly what the Philippines looks like. Untouched islands, fertile land, endless water, and a climate so unique it could fit the description of paradise. But the story doesn't stop. There, the Bible mentions 4 rivers flowing from Eden: the Pishon, Gihon, Tigris, and Euphrates. For centuries, scholars assumed these rivers must be in the Middle East, but the descriptions never fully matched. No one could find the Pishon or Gihon, and no archaeological evidence ever confirmed Eden's location. Then researchers began noticing something strange. Ancient maps from Asia mentioned a mysterious land called Ophir, a place overflowing with gold, rare trees, precious stones, and unimaginable beauty. And many historians believe Ophir and its legendary riches were located in the Philippines. In fact, the Philippines is one of the most gold-rich places on Earth, and ancient explorers from Arabia, China, and India described a land to the east filled with purity and natural perfection. But even more shocking is what scientists discovered when studying life itself. The Philippines is one of the most biodiverse countries on the planet, home to thousands of species that exist nowhere else. It is one of the few places on Earth where ancient plants and animals have survived unchanged for millions of years, almost like a living time capsule, almost like the first home of life. And when you look at geology, things get even stranger. The Philippines sits on a rare type of crust that is older than much of Asia. It is like a fragment of an ancient world, a piece of Earth that survived the planet's early destruction. Its mountains grow like living creatures. Its rivers are among the cleanest in the world. Its islands appear in ancient records as places of purity and beauty. But Eden wasn't just about beauty. It was about a place where life could grow, where early humans could survive, thrive, and expand. And the Philippines fits that perfectly with its warm climate, abundant fresh water, fertile soil, massive forests, endless supply of food and protection from harsh deserts or freezing winters. It's the ideal cradle of early humanity. But here's where the theory becomes even more interesting in ancient Hebrew. The word Pishon means to spread and scatter. And there is a river in the Philippines whose name literally means to spread or disperse, the Agus River in Mindanao, a river with branches that spread across fertile lands, just like the descriptions of Eden. The Bible also describes bdellium and onyx stones, rare gems found in the land of the Pishon. And the Philippines is filled with pearl-like resin stones, black onyx, gemstones, and gold rivers that match ancient descriptions perfectly. Another clue lies in the story of the Great Flood. After the flood, Noah's descendants supposedly traveled across Asia and spread to different regions, but there is an old Filipino legend about a great flood that wiped out ancient people, except for a chosen few who survived on a mountain. One of those mountains, Mount Apo, is one of the oldest and most sacred mountains in Southeast Asia. Could this be connected, or just a coincidence? And then there's the climate. The Middle East is dry desert land, nothing like the lush paradise described in ancient writings. Eden was a garden overflowing with water, life trees, fruits, and animals. The Middle East, thousands of years ago, was greener than today, but not lush like Southeast Asia. The Philippines, however, is made of gardens, rivers, waterfalls, forests, and fruit-bearing trees everywhere. You turn, the country looks like a living description of Eden. But if Eden was in the Philippines, why didn't the ancient world know about it? Maybe they did. Ancient Chinese sailors wrote of a mystical land to the east, filled with gold and strange, beautiful trees. Indian texts spoke of a shining island blessed by the gods. Arab traders wrote about a place so fertile it seemed supernatural, and early Spanish explorers believed the islands were so rich and pure they compared them to paradise. Maybe humanity always knew about the islands, but over time, stories became myths, and myths became religious tales. The deeper you search, the more signs point to the Philippines as a possible cradle of early life, its biodiversity, ancient landmass, pure water sources, rich minerals, strange, untouched forests, and ancient legends all echo the descriptions of a lost paradise. But the most fascinating part is how ancient cultures across the world describe paradise as a place in the Far East. Not the West, not the desert, not the mountains, but beyond the horizon, in a chain of islands overflowing with life and beauty. Even old maps drawn centuries ago label mysterious islands near the Philippines as the land of creation. Could this be a forgotten memory of humanity's first home? Even linguists have noticed that some early Austronesian words, which spread from the Philippines throughout the Pacific, carry meanings connected to origins, birth, and beginnings. As if the first migrations of early people started from these islands, imagine the possibility the first humans living on the shores of a Philippine island, gathering fruit, walking beside clear rivers surrounded by forests where everything they needed already existed. Imagine Eden not in desert sands, but in tropical paradise. Imagine the first garden not in a harsh land, but in a place meant for life itself. This theory isn't meant to replace religion or rewrite faith. It simply shows that our world holds secrets deeper than we imagine. That maybe the stories passed through generations were memories of real places, real lands, real gardens that existed long before civilizations began, and the Philippines, as strange as it sounds, matches more clues than any place in the Middle East. The rivers, the gold, the unique plants, the ancient mountains, the survival-friendly climate, the legends, the biodiversity, and the descriptions of paradise. If Eden was a real place, this island nation might be the closest thing the world has to it. A living reminder of where everything could have started. A paradise that still exists, after thousands of years waiting, peaceful, untouched, and full of mysteries. Maybe the Garden of Eden was never lost. Maybe it was never destroyed. Maybe we've been looking in the wrong place the whole time. Maybe Eden wasn't in the deserts of the West, but in the emerald waters and ancient forests of the Philippines. The closest thing Earth has to the Garden of Beginnings, a paradise still alive today, hiding its secrets under the tropical sun, waiting for the world to finally recognize its ancient truth.